So the new Guild Wars expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, dropped on August 22nd, and I got to play it day one, all day, and I had a blast. So far, I haven't done much, but the time I've been spending has been really positive for me. The meta events and rifts are fun, the story's pretty interesting so far, sky scale access. It's all been fun for me, and I want to talk about some of the things that I like and don't like about the expansion. Starting with the maps, I've been enjoying flying around from island to island. The instant sky scale access makes the areas really easy to navigate, and the ley lines and updrafts scattered around everywhere makes it really easy to get places quickly. I unlocked Griffin but not sky scale before the expansion came out, and I was really excited to see how fun it'd be to dive around maps that were designed with flying in mind. And it's fun. I was a little worried they'd be designed more with sky scale in mind, and the maps wouldn't make great use of Griffin flying, but I was thankfully proven wrong. The maps are definitely designed with the utility of sky scale, but the distance and height difference between each island gives Griffin amazing zones to fly around in. You won't be running into giant fuck-off trees or smacking your face into a random cliffside here, so your Griffin has the freedom to dive around and ascend without worry of the environment stopping you. I haven't unlocked leyline and updraft usage on mounts, but I do have the Heart of Thorns masteries for gliding unlocked, and they're convenient traversal tools to quickly get from one place to another. My only gripe is that ley lines are sometimes hard to see, and it's hard to tell at a glance what directions ley lines take you. So sometimes I'll find myself trying to take ley lines from one island to another, but I end up getting flung around in a bunch of different directions because I couldn't see what direction the opaque arrows were pointing. I've also heard that using ley lines and updrafts on flying mounts isn't a toggle once you unlock the masteries, and I'm worried about that. Not only for the new maps, but the Heart of Thorns maps with ley lines and updrafts everywhere will probably mean that flight paths are completely screwed. But I haven't tested it for myself, so I'm not completely sure of it yet. If you have those specific Soto masteries, those being enhanced updrafts and ley line acclimation, and have tested them out, please leave a comment and let me know how it feels to fly in the Heart of Thorns areas. Besides the overall layout of the zones, I think they look beautiful as well. A lot of the first map is just a mixture of previous expansion zones in one place, but the original assets here are really good. I love the architecture and the scenery. Guild Wars has always been good at making the world feel massive, and that's really at play here. The Wizard's Tower being this gigantic hub for players with beautiful architecture, Skywatch Archipelago being relatively small segments of land feeling a lot more massive with the density of NPCs and enemies, Amnesis with its map-wide meta event that makes it truly feel like a world-ending boss. It's all great. Besides just the maps, the story's been pretty cool so far. Except for the second chapter with the stealth section, it isn't that great. Maybe I just wasn't understanding when I should be moving from cover to cover, but it was kind of annoying how the boss would just turn around when I left cover. It felt really weird and kind of unfun to do. Besides that, there aren't any other hiccups that I could think I've had with the story. It's a solid, well-paced experience so far, and I can't wait to finish it. But with all that story and graphic stuff out of the way, let's get into the gameplay and rewards this expansion brings, starting with the metas. Right now, I think they're pretty good, with an asterisk at the end of that, and I'll get into why in a sec. The meta events that were advertised and hyped up for this expansion are these things called rifts, these areas that the bad guys are invading that you, the players, need to stop from happening. How do you stop this? By killing Cryptus enemies that are in the area until requirements are met. Then, after a short delay, a powerful enemy spawns that needs to be taken out. There are multiple tiers to these rifts, and with each tier, stronger enemies spawn in the ad waves and stronger bosses appear at the end. There are higher tiers for these rifts coming out in a later update, but as of right now, we only have access to up to tier 3 rifts. Right now, I think rifts are a really good turn your brain off and just farm enemies meta event, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I love metas that have deeper mechanics to them and make the player think more, but I don't think they should all be like Dragon's End or even Octovine. I think Rifts right now is just kind of like a new Silver Waste, but I will be disappointed if higher tier Rifts are just more of the same stuff we did in the lower tiers. I just hope the bosses in the higher tiers give better challenge. Thankfully, Rifts aren't the only type of meta events in this expansion. There are still other dynamic events that happen around the zones which I enjoy, and one thing I was surprised with was the Defensive Amnitas meta event. As I was playing through Skywatch Archipelago, I was a little skeptical for what kind of events would happen in the next zone, since I was really only doing rifts and regular events out there. I was hoping there would be some kind of epic boss encounter that we'd have somewhere, and I was pleasantly surprised when I found it not too long after I started exploring. I haven't run it enough times to say that I fully understand the mechanics, but I can say the fight's really fun when things go good. But when it doesn't, it's pretty unfun feeling. I struggle to get a stable frame rate during the meta, and some mechanics are confusing to deal with. Like, the different special actions that you could pick up from the golems are really annoying to deal with, because I still don't exactly know which golems give me what key, and it gets especially annoying when I get marked for death because the attack just downs you if you don't remove the debuff. Besides that, the land parts of the fight are great. The skyscale parts, not so much. The new skyscale ability is a little unfun to use, and it's only because it doesn't have its own unique keybind. So it's really frustrating trying to use this thing because I can't just click on a target and click the ability. It has to be manually aimed. So I feel like I'm fighting the controls every time I try to use it. This could all be fixed by giving Fireball its own keybind. Like, please, ANET, just give us another mount keybind. The meta rewards from this expansion are pretty alright in my opinion too. There's a lot of valuable materials that seem to drop pretty commonly from enemies in metas, and the weapon skins look really cool. I haven't been fashion hunting, but these are going to make a really good start to my collection. Speaking of rewards though, the last thing I want to talk about is the new Wizard's Vault and the rewards that come from them. The Wizard's Vault is a new system that's replacing the daily login and objective system, sort of merging them into one thing. You complete the objectives listed and earn this currency called Astral Acclaim that you could redeem for a set amount of rewards that will change out every few months. Think of it like a battle pass that doesn't cost money. I was excited for the Wizard's Vault when ArenaNet announced it. I even talked about it in my Weapon Master beta video, but we never got a good look into the rewards until the day the expansion dropped. And after looking over what's offered, I could say that a majority of them are some great things to get. There are definitely some scams in the list, but a lot of them give you some juice stuff. The mount skin is beautiful and became one of my favorites pretty quickly. I love the little floating orbs around it. It was the skin that I was excited for as soon as it was announced, and I got it day one. The weapon skins are also some great fashion pieces. I haven't gotten any yet because I'm saving my acclaim for the legendary starter kit. What's that, you ask? Only one of the best value items on offer here. The legendary starter allows you to skip a lot of steps required for some legendaries and can save you hundreds of golds on crafting materials, and is such a good item that I'm honestly surprised that ANET offered this. I seriously recommend anyone get this. It's way too good of a thing to pass up. But that's about it for my first impressions. There's some bumps, but the overall experience has been a blast, and I can't wait to play more. I hope y'all are having just as much fun with Secrets of the Obscure as I am, and I'll see you guys in the Horn of Maguma. Until next time, stay safe.